Once the sleeves are sewn and the edges are finished, we're going to sew down the entire sleeve and the side to create the arm. With the right sides together, fold the sleeve in half. I like to start by pinning the cuff and then going to the armpit seams, lining those up and pinning those, and then going down to the hem of the jacket and pinning that. And so sorry, the video kind of cuts this off. I'll do another one later. But just pin at these 3 points and then go back and you can pin the rest because this is where we're gonna sew. Once it's pinned, we are going to sew starting from the cuff to the hem of the jacket at 1/4 inch. Give it a little trim to cut off any excess fabric. Now we're going to finish the raw edges before moving on. I prefer to do bias tape on this just for the cleanest finish, but you can also do a serger if you have one. That is going to be the easiest method. For the bias tape binding, I showed this in my last video, but just to cover it again, I'm using 1/2 inch double fold bias tape, so I'm going to be opening up one side completely before sewing it at 1/4 inch all the way down. Once I've sewn that one side down, I'm going to flip it over and pin the bias tape back towards the jacket. This is going to cover the stitch that I just made and the raw edge at the same time. Once the bias tape is pinned back, you can also press this if you'd like. Just depends on the thickness of your fabric as well. Once it's pinned, I'm going to edge stitch all the way down, making sure to cover that original stitch we just did on the other side. For the final step, I'm going to show you how to neatly finish this bias tape because I used the part of the blanket where the cuffs don't need to be covered. There's no raw edges. So what I'm going to do is actually fold this bias tape over in on itself so that it has a clean finish. So take the bias tape and keeping it folded in half, you don't need to open it, but just fold down the entire top so that the bias tape is in half. I hope that makes sense. And just adjust it so that all the raw edges are tucked into one another and then pin it down to hold it. And sorry again, I totally missed this in the video. Then just edge stitch all the way up. Then just edge stitch up and over it, making sure to back stitch to keep it in place. Repeat these steps on the other side and you'll have your finished sleeves. Check out more videos for baby Coast Coat and adult Coast Coat on LorraineHandmadeYouTube.com. Also, check me out on Instagram at LorraineHandmade. Well, not .com, but hey, thank you all for watching so much, and I hope you enjoyed this, and happy sewing!